News Live 10 at 10.
You're really doing down here. There's a lot of potholes in this town.
The Fargo Street Department says drivers in town are getting antsy, asking for potholes to be fixed. Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. The first batch of pothole mix was made today in Fargo. Up until now, the weather has hampered efforts.
The good news is improvements are expected later this month. The bad news, it may take a while to get the ones near you fixed. Valley News Team's Nicole Johnson shows us which roads are top priority.
One street at a time. That's how city street crews say potholes are getting filled.
I think the city of Fargo is trying their best to do, there's a lot of them to fill.
First on their list, crews are racing to get the marathon route ready for runners. Although these bumps are the top priority along 32nd Avenue, specifically this intersection. Here are just a few of the ones I drove over on 25th Street. Crews say it needs more work than just a quick fix, but they're doing what they can for now. Main Avenue is the next priority.
It's terrible because it actually damages the rims on vehicles too. I'm a car dealer here in town, Gateway Chevrolet. So yes, we get lots of customers that come in and say that it destroys their tires and the rims.
For drivers like Jason Cardinal, there are certain potholes that hit closer to home, ones that people are reporting on the new Fargo One app. Here's a pothole downtown Fargo. Someone snapped a picture of this saying, "Come fix it." But will posting on here make it happen any quicker? Probably not. Street crews say they can't jump around too much. It's just not efficient, but say keep reporting them and be patient. Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
Moorhead has a section on its website where you can report potholes, and West Fargo is working on an app that should be done in July. If you have a pothole you want to report, we have links on our website, valleynewslive.com. Just click on the hot button.
Fargo school leaders are alerting the parents of middle and high school students about recent drug use, particularly opioids in the FM area. Last week, West Fargo did the same thing, adding that they are working with law enforcement on a drug investigation within the school district. They say they believe students or recent graduates have been dealing phenylfentanyl to students. Besides West Fargo and Fargo, other school districts have sent similar notices to parents. The email that Fargo sent out, along with links to educational resources, have been attached to this story, and it's located on valleynewslive.com.
A federal judge today ruled the Obama health care administration is unconstitutionally subsidizing medical bills for millions of people and ignoring congressional power over government spending. In today's decision, or rather if today's decision is upheld, it could rile the health care law's insurance markets. U.S. District Judge Rosemary Collyer said her ruling would be put on hold while it's appealed. The White House expressed confidence it would be overturned.
In a tight Democratic presidential race, both Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton are doing everything in their power to win delegates. Sanders made 2 stops in South Dakota today, including this one in Sioux Falls. He's going to be here in Fargo tomorrow. Both Sanders and Hillary Clinton are trying to sway voters in a closer than expected race before the Democratic presidential caucuses on June 7th. North Dakota will send 23 delegates, including 5 superdelegates, to the national convention in July.
I think there's times, yes, we do feel in North Dakota that we are overlooked because maybe of our size or because maybe the presumptive way that we go on presidential elections.
Valley News Live will stream Bernie Sanders' rally live on our website. That's going to begin at 2 p.m. Meanwhile, Bill Clinton will be in Fargo on May 20th. That's a week from tomorrow, campaigning for his wife Hillary. Details have not been released.
The city of West Fargo and a developer have been working to find the perfect plan to redevelop and revitalize the downtown. But businesses along Cheyenne Street are feeling left in the dark. Valley News Team's Natalie Parsons joins us now to tell us what they managed to find out about the project. Natalie?
Andrea, many of the West Fargo businesses located along Cheyenne Street between 4th and 5th Avenue West have been there for over 20 years. The ones who spoke to us say the land has been bought by a developer. Whether they own the property or just rent space in this area, most of the businesses have until the end of the month to get out. They also told me they have seen people do soil samples to see if the property can handle what they say may be planned. One business owner who didn't want to be identified says a 6-story building could go up. and that if the VFW sells, the main floor of the new building would be for them. Other parts of the building would be rented professional space or apartments with underground parking. A park is also in the works that would include ice skating, vendors, craft shows, and concerts. The City of West Fargo's Economic Development Director says that any plans they have for the area are in the very beginning stages, and that any land purchasing is being done through the developer, Cheyenne Plaza LLC. However, Matthew Marshall also says at this time the City of West Fargo has not approved any project. Andrea?
All right, thank you, Natalie. To find out more of what is planned for the West Fargo area, head over to valleynewslive.com and click on this story.
The Fargo Police Department is still healing after the loss of one of their own this year. The shooting death of Officer Jason Mosier touched a lot of people, but especially affected families who considered Jason part of their Blue Line family.
Law enforcement families say Jason's death has forever changed them, but an organization specifically for spouses of officers is providing some much-needed support for those who love the men and women behind the badge.
Valley News Team's Lisa Bedeau has our story.
White fella, the round and
Painting can be therapeutic, and this group is focused on healing. Fraternal Order of Police Auxiliary is marking its one-year anniversary by painting this Blue Line flag. Rachel Mosier was a charter member of the group, not knowing how important it would be less than a year into its inception.
We knew that this is a possibility that could happen, and we wanted to make sure that we had things in place in case it ever did.
Rachel says the auxiliary was the first group to reach out to her when her husband was shot and killed while responding to a domestic situation in North Fargo in February. Fellow police officer wives rallied around her.
There's a lot of people that don't know what it might be like, or they don't have that risk that their spouse might not come home at the end of the day. Having other people that understand that and can be there for you if that were to happen, it's a totally different perspective than somebody on the outside that just says, yeah, that would really stink.
The death of another officer is actually what drove some Fargo police officers' wives to start the auxiliary. In March of 2014, Police Lieutenant Jeff Scusa took his own life, and rumors of poor morale at the police department quickly spread. While the law enforcement community mourned Scusa's death, something was stirring in the hearts of several wives, starting at his funeral.
I think we all felt a little lost. We wanted to do something. We wanted to get together and talk about it, but there just wasn't that ability to connect and communicate with everybody.
Mary Moen says through her grief, she knew there needed to be a better support system. Angie Johnson says the funeral was a tipping point for her.
One of the reasons I remember thinking that we need to do something is I remember standing at Scusa's funeral and in the lobby area, and my husband, of course, with the rest of the officers. And I remember looking around and thinking, you know, we're all so connected in such an interesting way, yet a lot of us didn't know each other. We had our little, you know, we kind of knew, you know, here and there, but I remember thinking that's so sad, and it bothered me.
Angie signed on right away to help start the auxiliary, and the group has proven crucial for her family. Johnson's husband was called out to the scene of the shooting that claimed Officer Mosier's life.
I wish that I could just take that away for him, because I don't know how you would go, how would you be at a scene like that and then just be okay the next day? You know, that was a friend, it's a coworker, it was a brother.
She is the main support system for her husband, and she says the auxiliary now supports her.
God forbid this should ever happen. This be you, we have support and we have each other a little bit more so than maybe we did before. So I feel that the auxiliary is just given so much more support to myself, and I'm sure other people would probably agree.
Although the loss of Officer Mosier still hurts, Angie says the auxiliary has helped ease the pain. And Rachel Mosier is vowing to stand strong with the auxiliary in case the worst ever happens again.
I have a totally different perspective now that nobody else in it does. So I think if this were to happen again, I definitely feel like I would be one of the people right there to say, I actually know what you're going through, and I'm there for you.
1, 2, 3,
Further proof that this Blue Line family will stand together to support one another in the good times and the bad.
That was Lisa Badeau reporting. There are more than 30 people in the auxiliary. They're not all women. There's one husband, and it's not limited to Fargo police officers' families. There are auxiliary members married to Cass County deputies as well as U.S. Marshals.